All right, welcome to the explainer. So picture this. You're out for a walk, right? Maybe in a park or just down some country lane, and then you see it. A flash of color, a plant you've never seen before, a bug that looks weird. And right there, in that split second, you get this little spark of curiosity.
And that one question, what is that? That's the start of everything, isn't it? But it's almost immediately followed by another, much trickier question. How in the world do I figure out what it is? And for years, we've really only had a couple of options, and let's be honest, both can be pretty frustrating.
So you've got your trusty old field guide, right? It's jam-packed with reliable, super detailed info, but man, flipping through hundreds of pages of tiny birds or plants can be a lot. It's overwhelming. Then you've got the photo ID apps. They're instant, they're easy, but wow, their suggestions can be all over the place, totally unreliable sometimes. So what do? How do we bridge that gap? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down some expert advice to give you a much clearer path. Think of it as a shortcut to seeing nature with real confidence.
Okay, so let's start solving this puzzle. The first step, we've got to get the most out of our tools. And that means we need to stop treating identification like a simple matching game and start treating it like a proper investigation. Okay, let's talk about that physical field guide. The absolute key here is to look beyond the picture. Seriously, those photos, they're often, well, they're idealized. They show a perfect specimen in perfect light. But nature isn't like that. It's messy, it's variable. That's exactly why the text description is your best friend. The text is where you find the real gold. It tells you the vital details, like what habitat does it live in? Is it common or is it super rare? What time of year are you even supposed to see it? Honestly, those clues are way more important than getting a perfect visual match. And those photo apps? Look, they're amazing tools. They're incredibly powerful. But you have to think of them as a signpost, not the final destination. An app gives you a suggestion, a lead, a name to start digging into. It's the beginning of your detective work, not the end of the story.
So to use an app the right way, you basically have to become a fact checker. You take the name the app spits out and you cross-reference it. You look it up in your field guide or on a reliable website. And you have to ask the big questions like, wait, is this species even found in my country? Does it actually live in a forest like this one? Is it even the right time of year for this flower? If the context just doesn't line up with the suggestion, you can't trust the ID. Because without that verification, an app's result is just, well, it's just a guess.
All right, so using our tools better is step one. That's the foundation. But the real secret, the thing that changes everything, is learning to think like a naturalist. This is where we go beyond just the tools and start developing a truly expert eye. It's all about making a huge shift in your perspective, from asking what to asking why.
You see, experienced naturalists use something called holistic identification. What that means is they don't just see a bird on a branch. They see the whole picture, the entire story. They see the species, sure, but they also see what it's doing, and they understand its unique relationship with the whole environment around it. It's all about context.
And we can actually break this expert mindset down into a simple 4-step framework. Think of it as being an ecological detective. Step 1. Start with the big picture. What's the habitat? What's likely to be common or rare here? Step 2. Observe the whole story. What is the thing doing? How does it move? Is it a baby or an adult? Behavior is a massive clue. Step 3. Now you can zoom in on the little details, the subtle things that separate it from other similar species. And only then, for step 4, do you pull out your tools, your guide or your app, to verify the story that your own observations have already told you. And really, that first step, habitat, is so important. This quote says it all. It could be argued, habitat is everything. And it's true. Habitat is the master key. It dictates where something can find food, shelter, and safety. If you can identify the habitat first, you've already narrowed down the list of suspects, like dramatically.
Okay, so how do we actually put this into practice? Where can we try out this new framework? Well, let's look no further than our own backyards. Seriously, your garden is the perfect laboratory to start thinking like an ecological detective.
I mean, think about it.
Your garden is really a collection of tiny microhabitats, right? You've got the lawn, the flower beds, maybe a bird feeder, and all of that sits inside the macro habitat of your whole neighborhood. And the choices we make, what we plant, how often we mow the lawn, what food we put out, all of that directly shapes which animals and insects show up. And what's really cool is that thanks to these huge citizen science projects, we have incredible data that shows exactly how our choices play out over time.
Yeah, this data, it tells a fascinating story. A story of winners and losers, right in our own gardens. Take the goldfinch, for example. Its population saw this huge increase, and that's strongly linked to the rise in popularity of Niger seed feeders. A simple choice we all made created a winner. But on the flip side, you have the greenfinch, which saw a dramatic decline. Why? Well, it's linked to a disease that can spread really easily at unhygienic feeders. It's just a powerful, direct look at how our actions have real and sometimes completely unexpected consequences.
And here's a perfect example of why this matters. It challenges our assumptions. I think a lot of us feel like we see magpies everywhere, right? They seem so common, but the long-term data actually shows that their numbers in gardens are in an overall decline. It's a fantastic reminder to trust the evidence, not just what we think we're seeing.
So, what this all leads to really is a completely new way of seeing. When we start using this framework, we can transform that old frustration of just not knowing into a genuine fascination with figuring out the puzzles all around us.
You've learned how to shift your focus from just a simple snapshot to the entire story of that plant or animal's life. Instead of just playing a matching game with a picture, you're now equipped to read the clues in the landscape, to watch the story of an organism's behavior, and to actually understand its place in the world.
So the next time you're outside and you feel that little spark of curiosity, I want you to try asking a different question. Don't just ask, "What is that?" Instead, ask yourself, "Why is it here?" That one simple shift, that will change everything. It'll change not just what you see, but how you see the world.